Well, yeah, I don't know what to really say about that one. What's going on, everybody? I probably won't be too long on here tonight. I'm still, man, listen, typically, a loss, and whenever I think about this loss, since, the game ended, yeah, it's been crushing like all losses are. And I'll talk about all of it in a second, but man, listen, I was still celebrating my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. For those who did not know, went out to a nice dinner after the game, man. And it was, it was a great dinner, great food. So I don't know how long I'm going to have on here tonight. I might have to go live again tomorrow to see. I'm not going to make a guarantee on that. But, we'll see how much I can get said tonight, and then I'll see if I go live. So I might go live, but I'm not going to make any guarantee on that. Anyways, with that being said, the Falcons absolutely sold this game in what was a game for a battle of first place in the NFC South. Whoever came away with this was going to be in first place. The Falcons had a big opportunity today to stay in first place. Extend their mark, go to 4-0 in the division, and had an opportunity to continue to pave an inside track to a division title, but they did not do that today. We're no longer in first place now. That belongs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have won the NFC South the past 2 years in a row with Tom Brady at quarterback. Mind you, Baker Mayfield's at quarterback this year. And it's absolutely pitiful. It really is pitiful that, we're at this point 14 weeks into the year. Look at all the opportunities we've had, and we're not in first place. It's absolutely pitiful. I will go ahead and say, from the look of that game, really how it went, you could definitely tell that the Falcons were the much better team. Even though the Bucs won today. The thing about division games, man, it really doesn't matter who's better. It just matters who wants it more on that day. And really, neither of these teams, to me, wanted it in that first half. They really got off to sluggish starts. Tampa Bay could not get that offense going to save their life in the first half. Outside of that opening drive, for Tampa Bay, it was really just, they got that touchdown, but granted, that was, and we're going to talk all about it in a second, what cost us this game. At the end of the day, when I really look at this, game, I got to be honest. I feel like you saw two teams that really weren't all that interested in winning. And the team that just happened to come away with more points was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But no win, should be discounted. This was a game that the Buccaneers won because they took advantage, or they were literally put in positions where they could just take advantage, of the Falcons' fuck-ups. That's just how this game went. I will say there's two players that, you, despite the loss, you have to, give it up for. First one is Drake London. Give it up for Drake London. Give it up for Drake London. Career high, 10 catches, 172 receiving yards. He made some insane catches in the fourth quarter. He gave us a chance to win, even on that final play. Tampa didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. Horrible play calling. We'll talk all about it. Well, we're talking all about it now. Robbie White pretty much summed it up. Tampa Bay did not beat us. We pretty much beat ourselves. We beat ourselves with our own drumstick to a fucking pulp with all the mistakes that we made in this game. You're talking about I'll talk all about it in a second. But you're just talking about some of the stupidest shit possible. But let's get some of the positives. Some of the bright spots in this thing. Drake London, and I think we know this. Drake London, I think, is that guy on the team that is going to go out and he's gonna make whatever catch is necessary. That's just how Drake is. That's kind of how Drake has always been since he came to Atlanta. He's going to make, or at least give himself a chance to catch that football. And you saw it today. You even saw it on that very final play. He caught the ball. He tried to give us a chance to win. If that thing was led, 5 yards deeper into the end zone, you don't know what happens. But that's neither here nor there. With that being said, though, man, give it up for Drake London. We have a dog in him. I think we all knew that before today. He owns the Bucs. He really does. He owns the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They cannot cover him to save their life. Another man you got to give it up for today is Clark Phillips, the rookie. Give it up for Clark Phillips, man. Look, Clark Phillips brought it today versus Chris Godwin. Breaking up passes. He played that physical brand of football. He fit in perfectly in Okuda's absence. And I'm going to be honest, man, I would not mind in the least bit Clark, Shark, Attack Phillips. I love that. You know what, man? I got to give it to Robbie White, man. I love this name for him. I love this name for him. Clark, Shark, Attack Phillips, man. That's give it up, man. Give it up. He brought it today. He brought it today to Chris Godwin, and man, I would love to see more of him. I think some of us were like, well, why is he not in the starting lineup? What's going on? You let him come along. And I definitely think, after this, you should definitely, I think, consider putting him into a starting role. Let him continue to build off of this. Yes, Desmond is a emotional roller coaster to watch. He certainly is. I will say another positive. Kyle Pitts had a touchdown today on a play that was pretty beautifully drawn up by Arthur Smith. And the fact that we had Kyle Pitts on a double move going down the field vertically. That is what we've literally been asking for the entire time since Kyle Pitts came to Atlanta. You see, when Kyle Pitts has a big play, it's either a wheel route or he's just running straight down the seam, or it's a double move or something vertically down the field. Why can't Kyle Pitts? We have two deep threats on this team, and Kyle Pitts and Drake London. We saw it today. Now, I'll go ahead and I might have to talk more about this at a later time, be it tomorrow. I don't know if I'll stream tomorrow. I'll just really, because as I got some stuff to do early tomorrow, which is why I don't know how long I'll be on here. But I'll definitely have to just see how tomorrow plays out. As I said, I might go live tomorrow. I might not. But one way or another, I'm definitely going to have this conversation at one point. We're really going to have a conversation about how this Falcons offense, it should be built in terms of, who are the focal points, and I really feel like, with all the star power that is set to be on this offense between Bijan, Drake, Kyle, Tyler, CP, you should be able to get every one of them involved. One of the things that I really I'm going to talk about what really pissed me off in a second that I think definitely cost us the game. But I overall feel like when you have a Kyle Pitts going vertically, a lot of Kyle Pitts' bigger plays, they come when he's going vertically downfield. Granted, you get in the red zone, he runs a slant. That's one thing. Because, man, listen, it feels like, 3/4 of the time Kyle Pitts is only out there running slants. So you need to be able to find. I mean, that was literally a mismatch. He had him running a double move. And Ritter was just able to place it right in there, and he was able to get in for the touchdown. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the, and this will lead me in to what I really feel cost us this game, and I feel like everybody needs to talk about it and needs to realize this is what cost us the game. Listen, Younghoe Koo, he missed 2 field goals today. But at the end of the day, man, it's going to happen. Koo has had, this is what? Koo's one bad game, in 4 years that he's been here. And there's actually people talking about getting rid of him. One bad game in 4 years. Are you actually kidding me? Where his missed kicks were the difference. Are you? That man has kicked so many game winners for us. I can't even tell you. And he could have had an opportunity to kick another one. Because let's get into it. Arthur Smith's play calling inside of our own 10-yard line in that first half was absolutely atrocious. You get to the first play, the first Exhibit 8, and you can maybe put this on Ritter as well, because he didn't fake it well. And that really, I don't think anyone saw that well. I mean, Bijan got locked up, but Ritter didn't sell it well. It didn't feel like any of the receivers sold it well. I think it was Algier. You did not sell that handoff well. And then you had Algier running on a screen in the backfield. And Carlton Davis, I think, is just right there to get on it. I mean, what the hell are you doing that cute shit inside the 10-yard line when you have a battering ram in Tyler Algier that is literally meant for those tough situations to just get you out of the end zone? That's what Tyler Algier is here for, those tough situations. When you're in those condensed field situations, 3rd and short, 2nd and short, why isn't Tyler Algier in the backfield getting the rock? I really feel like, another thing today, Tyler Algier, he did not. And another thing, too, is this. I realize that Algier is more of a second half runner. As he gets more carries and they wear the defense down, that's how his runs get stronger. But you still got to give him carries in the first half. Give Bijan carries. Give CP more carries. But why are you doing that stupid shit, doing a screen inside the 10-yard line? It makes no sense. Your own 10-yard line. But I'm going to honestly tell y'all where I think, and not to mention, I mean, literally that gave Tampa Bay 1st and goal at like the 8-yard line. They odds were they were going to get a touchdown there, and they did. So that was one of the points where that you can definitely say was the difference. And some people was. I'm going to tell you what the difference was to me. This was the difference. It was midway through the 2nd quarter, or maybe it was the late 2nd quarter. It was pretty close to halftime. Falcons got their ball back on 8-yard line, and I think it was 1st down. You're at the 8-yard line. It's already happened to you. You would think you learned your lesson, right? No. Of course not. Because Arthur Smith is just that in over himself. He's just that full of himself. So guess what he does? He dials up a play action in your own end zone. When at that point, because my God, I hope Jake Matthews is okay. Jake Matthews has never missed a start, I think, for the Falcons, and he's been here a decade. So the fact that he went out today, it kind of shook me, I'm not going to lie, because of how healthy he's been. Lindstrom went out. I think Lindstrom was out. I know Lindstrom came back in, but Lindstrom even went out. You had 4 backup offensive linemen, and the only one who wasn't a backup was a rookie in Bergeron. Bergeron's balled out this year, taking nothing away from him. But what are you doing going play action in your own end zone in that situation? You're down that many offensive linemen. And guess what the result was? Tampa Bay got a safety. Now, when you go and look at that final score, and you go and look at that final drive, and hindsight is 20/20, anything can happen. I understand that. Tampa scored to make it 29-25. I want y'all to think of now. I definitely want y'all to think about this. Let's say Tampa Bay, they probably go for 2. And let's say they get it 28. That safety never happens. It never happens, and the Falcons have to punt. Tampa still scores that touchdown late. It's either 28-25 Tampa, or they don't get the 2-pointer. It's only 26-25 Tampa. And final drive, we got into coup field goal range. We did. You had to go for the touchdown because you were down 4. Hindsight 20/20, you don't get that safety, and be it you're down 1 or you're down 3, you have a chance to either win it there or send it into overtime. And hindsight is 20/20, but that is, to me, where the difference was in this game. Now, yes, Koo's field goals were definitely points off the board. So those can definitely be seen as a difference as well. But I'm not going to blame Koo here. I'm not. I can't blame Koo. Can't. I gotta blame Arthur Smith. I do. Because once again, how in over himself he is, doing the stupid shit, wanting to be cute, is what costs us this game. Now, as far as Desmond Ridder goes, and we're gonna have to have the conversation about the quarterback in the offseason. That's gonna be the big conversation, I think. To me, I feel like Desmond Ridder is really hit or miss as each play goes. If Ridder can make a throw where he gives a Drake London or even a Kyle Pitts or whoever he's throwing it to a chance, and then you might also get a play where there were several times Ridder threw into double coverage and Drake was there and caught it. There were several times. I think that's more so he trusts Drake and Drake trusts him. See, I will say this. I think it's time everyone realizes this. Drake London and Desmond Ridder's connection, that I think might be the only good takeaway for actually having Desmond Ridder here. Another thing too, man, is look, we booed him. We did because we were frustrated. We booed him those first 3 quarters. But that fourth quarter came around, and all of a sudden, he was making throws that gave us a chance to win. He really was. But I'm going to go ahead and say this. Football is not just a 15-minute sport. It's a 60-minute game. And even though, yes, games are won and lost in the fourth quarter, there's a reason why there's the first 3 quarters. And those first 3 quarters set you up in a situation going into the fourth quarter that goes a long way towards determining how that game goes. That's the bottom line. And we made a lot of dumb mistakes in the first half when our defense was holding up. The defense wears down as the game goes on, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost always going to happen. The offense wasn't getting anything going. They weren't. So you saw in that second half that defense, and listen, that final drive, you can definitely say it. We were missing Aliyamata. We were missing Lamb. But you also have to realize we inflicted, so the defense is not going to go unscathed. We made some stupid mental errors. Some of those holding calls. One of them was on 2nd and 10, and it helped them, get yards down the field. It really did. So with that being said, no, the defense, they let up late. The crowd, did everything in their power. We made noise, we got up, but the defense, they just couldn't pull it off. At the end of the day, how can you blame the defense when this offense can't get it going? I think is the question. We're not in sync. We don't play at consistent levels. We don't. Whenever the game starts off, the defense is going to hold up pretty well, and we know that. And the offense, they just can't get it going worth a damn. And the fourth quarter comes around, the offense is finally going to be able to get it going, but the defense is so damn worn down at that point. What can you really expect? I mean, that's, I think, the way you have to look at it. So yeah, this was a frustrating loss. This was definitely a winnable game. This was a game we should have honestly have won going away. I mean, that first drive, there's another one. First drive. Bijan was wide open for the touchdown in the flat. And Ritter just, I don't know where Ritter was even looking. Turnovers. Safety. Just an anemic offense for 3 quarters. I mean, how do you expect to win with that, playing that type of football? You're not going to. Big thing was, this was a divisional game. Tampa Bay has the tiebreaker over us because at this point they have a better conference record. Now, taking the big positive out of this game, certainly not over. There's a 3-way tie at the NFC South. It's scrolling at the bottom of this screen. The Bucs, the Falcons, and the Saints are all 6-7. There is 4 games left to go. And all of these teams, the Bucs and Saints play each other again. The Falcons and Saints play each other again. The bottom line is, man, there's a lot of football left to be played. The Falcons go up to Charlotte next weekend to face the 1-12 Carolina Panthers. And I swear to God, we better win this game. We better not fuck this up. We better go into Charlotte and we better take care of fucking business. We better. This might be the worst Panthers team there's ever been. That franchise has been around nearly 30 years. Bryce Young has no help there. Bryce Young looks like shit. The owner is running that team into the ground. David Tepper is running the Carolina Panthers into the ground. They have nothing to play for, literally nothing, other than maybe the hope of dashing all of our hopes and dreams. Prepare myself. Man, look, listen, I'm prepared for anything, and I hate saying that. I really do. We very well could. If we come out doing this stupid shit, because I'm telling y'all, man, don't take this Carolina team for granted. Don't look at them, just because they're 1-12, they're not. Do not do it. It's a division game. If you want to be taken seriously at all. Now, I will say this. I've been a big advocate for I want to win the division. I've been a big advocate for fuck the draft talk, fuck anything related to the offseason. Yes, always keep the thought in the back of your head, but for the most part, the main focus and goal needs to be winning this division. But if you can't even beat the 1-12 Panthers, then you got no right to talk about a division title. You got no right to think shit, because in reality, if you can't even beat them, yeah, your team got some issues. I think I pretty much covered everything for tonight. I don't know if I'm gotta go live tomorrow now. I don't know. I still might. I'll just see how tomorrow goes. Do not bank on it, but anything's possible. Gotta take care of some business tomorrow. Got a pretty busy week ahead of me, at least the first half of it. But I will be talking about the Panthers matchup later on in the week. As I say, there needs to be a win. This was a tough loss. This was a game you should have won. It really was. This was a game you should have won. You had an opportunity to win. You just let it slip through, but you better not lose next week. If you lose next week, yeah, it is not going to be pretty. I definitely think we should beat Carolina. We better. I think we should. That's all I'll say about that game. I'll talk more about it later in the week. I'll say that better be a win, and it definitely should be a win. With that being said, I appreciate Robbie White says going to close us off with the statement: Smith is losing the locker room, and a meltdown is coming. Ooh. I don't know, man. I hope not. I really hope not. If this motherfucker loses to Carolina, I don't care what the fuck has been said. This motherfucker might need to lose his job. He can't even beat the 1-12 Panthers. The fucking interim at head coach. And it ain't no fucking Steve Wilkes either. With that being said, man, it was a tough one today. It was a tough one. It was one we could have won, like so many of these this season. At the end of the day, man, it's all that can be said, man. Gotta move on. You're still right in the thick of it. It's time to go take care of business. 4 games left. At Carolina, home versus Indy. You have the final 2 at Chicago. And in the Superdome versus the Aints, final week of the season, first of the year. And honestly, I feel like you have to go 3-1 in that stretch. I really do. Maybe even 4-0. I would definitely. I think even that Colts game I think is winnable. But you got to take care of business is the bottom line. But with that being said, man, I'll see you guys later this week. We'll be talking about the game versus Carolina. It was a tough loss here, but man, we're still right in the thick of it. Man. So that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.